Okay, so I'm a mythologist, which is another way of saying I'm kind of relatively useless in a circle of folks, and I knew this going in, but I really got the sense today when we were sitting around the tables. It's rare that someone like me who studies, well, what might largely be considered the most obscure minutia of human society, gets a chance to hang out with people who actually get shit done, which is what this community is all about. You are the folks who are here because you accomplish things, and accomplish things in the realm of this vision of creating a culture of clean water, which is, I think, something we can all get behind. So what could a folklorist possibly contribute to this conversation? What could a mythologist offer? Well, I hope a little something. The course that Mary talked about is a course that we offer at Champlain every spring semester. It's a course called The Sacred and the Secular, where we introduce those hard-headed accountants and game programming majors at Champlain to the idea that maybe religion is something they should pay attention to. Maybe religion is something they should care about. And part of why we do this and how we do this is that we actually try to get them to think about the fact that the phenomenon that we call religion, which is changing and has changed, certainly within the last decade or more, it's really about culture building. It's about thinking about how cultures are created, the underlying ideas, the underlying frameworks that build cultures. And so if part of our goal here is to collectively envision and wonder about and think about the creation of a culture of clean water, both here in Vermont and globally, one of the ways to do that is to look at the mechanics of culture building. And I like to think of the academic study of religion as the study of the mechanics of culture building. One of the things that we've asked our students to look at, and in this particular class that we had where the students collaborated with folks at All Souls, we had the students read a book by a contemporary scholar, a guy by the name of Ron Taylor. He's written a book called Dark Green Religion. And Taylor's thesis in this text is that religion in 21st century America is starting to look an awful lot more like environmentalism than it used to. And conversely, environmentalism in 21st century America is starting to look an awful lot more like religion than it used to. People who are engaged are nodding. Good. Why? What comes to mind? What are you thinking about?
Environmental values. I think some people live them like they would a religion, you know, that it's your guiding principle.
Absolutely.
I've thought about that a lot.
I think probably here in Vermont we see that's uppermost, really. So again, maybe for this audience, Taylor's thesis is not particularly revolutionary, but it definitely resonates with our student body, because many of them would not describe themselves as conventionally religious, but you want to talk to them about what they're passionate about. You want to talk to them about what gets them agitated, what gets them excited, and you bring up things like clean water, clean air, pollution, the environment, blue-green algae, okay? They get revved up about that sort of thing. So, our goal was to sort of leap on that energy and try to help students understand why something like the academic study of religion could be relevant or could be meaningful to an accountant, a game design major, an early childhood education major. One of the things we do in this class, again, because we're looking to get students to think about the mechanics of what we think of as religion. We talk an awful lot about myth, and we talk an awful lot about ritual. We talk about sacred story, and we talk about the practices that arise from or that are based on sacred story. The anthropologist Edmund Leach described myth when he attempted to define myth. He said myth is the expression of unobservable realities in terms of observable phenomena. All those things that we can't really put our hands on, that we can't really see, that we can't really tie down. How do we talk about them? How do we express them? Well, somehow or other we have to relate them to observable phenomena. That's what myth does. And then, brilliantly, in another article, he said, ritual is the expression of unobservable realities in terms of observable phenomena. Just leapfrogged on himself, you know. Basically, wrote the same article twice, but substituted myth for religion. Or for ritual, excuse me. The point is that both of these tools, the narrative tool that we use to think about the unthinkable or the intangible, and the physical element that we use, the behaviors, the sights, the sounds, the smells that we use to think about the intangible, are part of the same tool. And what I like to do with our students is explore those two elements as tools for building culture. Because every culture has sacred narrative. Every culture has stories